Alright, this is Justin Merryman's CAT 2 video. It is the 12th of July, roughly 2:15 p.m. And this is Skylar Dumas, is giving my patient. So CAT 2, we only do, we have a positive arm fossa test. And first thing we got to do is make sure that there's congruencies between the arm fossa. So as we're testing him and figuring out that if it's an upper or lower fossa, it's got to be congruent with knee pain and then short and long legs. So if he has a UMS, which means upper fossa, medial knee pain, this has got to be the short leg. And if he has a lower fossa, he has to have lateral knee pain, and this needs to be the long leg. So we tested him out and made sure that we have our checking of UMS and LS. Right from there, we go to the leg length. I'm going to have him push out while I try to push in. 3, 2, 1, relax, feet together. Checking medial malleoli. This is going to be his short leg side, which is congruent with our arm fossa test. So the next step after that, if we don't have congruency, then we're going to check cervical and lumbar. But if we do have congruency, we're going to move into blocking. So for blocking, patient's already on it, but I would lay down a board first, which is 4 inches above the iliac crest. After that, I block according to the short leg. So I got my fake little blocks right here. Boom. And so since this is his short leg, what we're going to do, and patient can assist with this one, is I'm going to have him roll his pelvis up that way, place this perpendicular, go ahead and lay back down. Perpendicular, half being on the crest, half being on lumbar muscles. That's the short leg side. Then I go to long leg side, and I put it 45 degrees up from the acetabulum, and he can assist in this one too. Right there, go ahead and lay back down. And maximum for this one is 2 minutes. The goal of the arm fossa is to strengthen all, or the goal of the blocking is to strengthen all 4 fossas. If we do that, that means we can then remove the blocks. If we don't strengthen all 4 fossas, then we have to do block augmentation. So with block augmentation, so keep going. Boom, boom, there we go. So if you have weak fossas, that means that we should wiggle them first. That's the first step that we can use to make sure that the blocks are in the right places. We just do slight wiggles to the blocks to see if they can actually shift into a more localized area. Second thing we can do is bilateral thigh pressure. So we come below the blocks on the thigh, press down on both sides equally for 10 seconds, and then recheck. If it still doesn't, then we can come up above the blocks around the pelvic bone. So one being placed here, one being placed high, press down for 10 seconds, A to P pressure, and then recheck. If it still doesn't go, then we can do basic 2, which is all about breathing. So for that one, we come check the arm fossa, have you raise a hand straight out. We're going to have him breathe in, hold it and check, and then have him breathe all the way out, hold it and check. And if we were to have an inhalation fault, so as if we were to have an, so before we correct for the patient breathing, we have the patient breathe in with his tongue to the roof of his mouth and his toes pointed forward. And then as he exhales, let his tongue go and have his toes pointed down. So go ahead and repeat that a couple times. Perfect. One more time. And then we would check actually the arm fossa test, make sure if it's strong or weak. If he has an inhalation fault, then we come to the front of the table, one hand on top, one hand on bottom, and then we correct with exhalation. So we're going to pull I to S on this one. As he has his tongue to the roof of his mouth and his feet pointed forward, and then we pull up. There you go. And then feet pointed down, exhale, we pull I to S. We would do reverse for an exhalation fault. We would push S to I as he breathes in and tongues to the roof of the mouth. And that's to help with the basic 2. This is all to make sure that you can get the 4 fossa strong. After we do all the block augmentation and after you do all that, you have the patient raise the arm back up. We need to do a reverse arm fossa test. This is to lock what we just did. So I'm going to have you pull towards your head. And then then don't let me pull down. And that's basically to lock what we just did, to make everything steady so that he stays congruent. If legs are still uneven after all the augmentations that we did, we use the short leg, long leg technique. So what you would do is you would start on the side of the short leg, one hand under the knee, one hand under the ankle, bring the knee up, start lateral, and then you go across medial, and you come back down, go again lateral, go medial, come back down. We're basically just trying to shift the femur inside the fossa. And then you go over to the lateral leg, you go lateral over, bring it in, or actually start medial, that's right, medial, and then you go lateral, come back down, medial, then you go lateral, come back down. This is to make sure that everything's balancing. You do that a total of 3 times. I just did a couple times, but you do a total of 3 times. So after this is done, I'm gonna have the patient flip on over, so I'm gonna pull these blocks. And don't let the patient help you, go and flip on your stomach. So we're gonna do our post-blocking sacral cup. This is another step in case nothing equals out. I'm gonna test each patient's leg and extension. So I'm gonna brace the crest, have the patient raise the leg up, don't let me push down. Okay, go ahead and relax. Same thing on the other side, bring up, don't let me push down. Say this one was weak though, and I could push down. I'm gonna go and test 2 areas on the sacrum, one upper and one lower, one above S2, one below S2. Press on it, extend your leg for me, press on it and try to push down. If that makes it strong, and this one makes it still weak, we know that the upper one that made it strong is one we need to do a pressure point to. So we're gonna pressure point it and hold it for 5 to 10 seconds. And then after that, we hold it for 5 to 10 seconds. We reset on the crest to stabilize, press down, and it should be strong. And if it's strong, then we're actually resolving everything. And then that's a sacral cup. If both legs are strong when we test, sacral cup is not indicated. And that's CAT 2. That's my video.